It's amazing when you look at all of this. It looks chaotic. But if you take one of the little flowers, and that chaos is absolute perfection. And that's the beauty. Out of chaos, there can be so much perfection. And that's what this learning is about when we use a chaotic approach. It's taking what seems to be chaotic, but out of that grows order and understanding. And it's such a powerful pedagogy.
Chaos. There's nothing worse when everything appears to be chaotic. Our world seems to be spinning around us. Things are not ordered like they should be. We would imagine that chaos, as a word, in no way should be associated with education. Yet chaos is at the top of our activated classroom. Chaos is one of the most powerful pedagogies that we can invoke. Yet sadly, it's a pedagogy that is hardly ever used. In most of our learning, the education system lays out everything very clearly. There's no confusion. It's in section 2.1. The formula is provided. Everything that we need is there. And so it is delivered to our students. Yet chaos as a pedagogy is extremely powerful because what it does is it forces us to reorganize. It forces us to think. And one of the things it does is it inspires the very heart of all learning. And that's the other C. It inspires curiosity. What in the world is going on? Where are you? What are you doing? Why is it like this? Why is the world spinning? And those are the questions that are so vital. Most kids, when they start out in life, are so curious. Why, Dad? Why is it like that? What does it cost? How much does it work? How does that thing fit together? There's so much curiosity in our children. Yet somewhere along the line, we lose it. Maybe it's because we start to package everything so neatly and cleanly. They no longer need to think. The answer to that is in chapter 3, page 47. The curiosity dies because the chaos is gone. And so in this section, we want to explore one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful pedagogy, the one that is never used, the top of the activated classroom, the pedagogy of chaos. And to kick things off, I want you to watch this really fascinating video, a TED Talk, on how chaos and curiosity, those vital C's, can make such a huge difference in our teaching.
I teach chemistry. All right. So more than just explosions, chemistry is everywhere. Have you ever found yourself at a restaurant spacing out, just doing this over and over? Some people nodding yes. Recently, I showed this to my students, and I just asked them to try and explain why it happened. The questions and conversations that followed were fascinating. Check out this video that Maddie from my Period 3 class sent me that evening.
You ready?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, obviously, as Maddie's chemistry teacher, I loved that she went home and continued to geek out about this kind of ridiculous demonstration that we did in class. But what fascinated me more is that Maddie's curiosity took her to a new level. If you look inside that beaker, you might see a candle. Maddie's using temperature to extend this phenomena to a new scenario. Questions and curiosity like Maddie's are magnets that draw us towards our teachers, and they transcend all technology or buzzwords in education. But if we place these technologies before student inquiry, we can be robbing ourselves of our greatest tool as teachers, our students' questions. For example, flipping a boring lecture from the classroom to the screen of a mobile device might save instructional time, but if it is the focus of our students' experience, it's the same dehumanizing chatter just wrapped up in fancy clothing. But if instead we have the guts to confuse our students, perplex them, and evoke real questions, through those questions, we as teachers have information that we can use to tailor robust and informed methods of blended instruction. So, 21st century lingo, jargon, mumbo jumbo aside, the truth is, I've been teaching for 13 years now, and it took a life-threatening situation to snap me out of 10 years of pseudo-teaching and help me realize that student questions are the seeds of real learning. Not some scripted curriculum that gave them tidbits of random information. In May of 2010, at 35 years old, with a 2-year-old at home and my second child on the way, I was diagnosed with a large aneurysm at the base of my thoracic aorta. This led to open heart surgery. This is the actual real email from my doctor right there. Now, when I got this, I was, press caps lock, absolutely freaked out, okay? But I found surprising moments of comfort in the confidence that my surgeon embodied. Where did this guy get this confidence, the audacity of it? Right? So when I asked him, he told me 3 things. He said, first, his curiosity drove him to ask hard questions about the procedure, about what worked and what didn't work. Second, he embraced and didn't fear the messy process of trial and error, the inevitable process of trial and error. And third, through intense reflection, he gathered the information that he needed to design and revise the procedure, and then with a steady hand, he saved my life. Now, I absorbed a lot from these words of wisdom, and before I went back into the classroom that fall, I wrote down 3 rules of my own that I bring to my lesson planning still today. Rule number 1, curiosity comes first. Questions can be windows to great instruction, but not the other way around. Rule number 2, embrace the mess. We're all teachers. We know learning is ugly. And just because the scientific method is allocated to page 5 of section 1.2 of chapter 1 of the one that we all skip, okay? Trial and error can still be an informal part of what we do every single day at Sacred Heart Cathedral in room 206. And rule number 3, practice reflection. What we do is important. It deserves our care, but it also deserves our revision. Can we be the surgeons of our classrooms? As if what we are doing one day will save lives. Our students are worth it. And each case is different. All right, sorry. Chemistry teacher and me just needed to get that out of my system before we move on. So these are my daughters. On the right, you have little Emma Lou, Southern family, and on the left, Riley. Now, Riley's going to be a big girl in a couple weeks here. She's going to be 4 years old. And anyone who knows a 4-year-old knows that they love to ask, why? Yeah, why? I could teach this kid anything because she is curious about everything. We all were at that age. But the challenge is really for Riley's future teachers, the ones she has yet to meet. How will they grow this curiosity? You see, I would argue that Riley is a metaphor for all kids. And I think dropping out of school comes in many different forms. To the senior who's checked out before the year's even begun, or that empty desk in the back of an urban middle school's classroom. But if we as educators leave behind this simple role as disseminators of content and embrace a new paradigm as cultivators of curiosity and inquiry, we just might bring a little bit more meaning to their school day and spark their imagination. Thank you very much.